Welcome to Godley. You might be thinking I've heard of that name Godley before. It's the location of the Godley Turntable. And if you have heard of it, that's probably where you've heard it from. But I've also covered this on a previous set of videos we did earlier this year. Me and John, back in, I think it was February time, we came up and did a series of videos dinting Mottram Yard, just up the road, and Godley, the Godley Turntable that we did. And we did this little section of track from Godley Junction down to the turntable, and I said, if I get the opportunity, I'd like to come back and just film the rest of the line down towards Woodley. So I had an overnight stop in Manchester last night and I didn't have to rush back home this morning, so I thought that's a great opportunity to get out. So welcome to Greater Manchester. It was only last week I launched Wobbly memberships via YouTube, so I'd just like to welcome my first 3 members. So we've got Carol Beasley, John and Psychic Spies, also known as John. So thanks for your support, guys, it really is appreciated. So click that join button just to see what it involves for as little as £3 a month. Just have a look at some of the perks you get, as well as supporting the channel. I've just got the train down from Manchester Oxford Road this morning, got on the Hadfield train at Piccadilly, and that ties in quite nicely with a series of videos that I'm filming at the moment all around the Woodhead Railway. We've been mostly filming recently at the other side, at the deep car at Pennines side, but that line from Manchester to here at Godley was the old Woodhead line, the old Great Central line, the old Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway, and before that the old Manchester Ashton-under-Lyne Railway. What's the name? I can't remember the name. So I'll just walk up through to Godley Junction, where I'll start my walk back towards Woodley. I'll explain a little bit about this line. But I was saying I got the train from Manchester this morning, Manchester Piccadilly, and it's quite interesting because I was looking out the window and I saw all the things along the side of the line. There's so much history on this stretch of line from Manchester, the old carriage works, the old loco works, so many branch lines, all the old overhead posts, the original ones from the old Woodhead line, the original electrification. But it was also all the little things as well on the track side, like all the little brackets we'd been finding and looking at. So a little bit of history about the short section of line that we're going to be walking today, and I'll refer to it today as the Chesher Lines Committe, as the railway company. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's what we'll call it. The Woodhead line that's just behind me there, this is Godley Junction. The Woodhead line, if you remember, that was planned for electrification in the 1930s. Now that didn't happen until the 1950s. I think 1954 to be precise, it was electrified. So in terms of freight, in its heyday, this line was like a coal superhighway between the collieries in the east and power stations over that way, mainly Fiddler's Ferry power station out on the Mersey. So this was just a constant stream of coal coming over the Pennines. When it was electrified in the 1950s, it came over the Woodhead line via electric train, those class 76ers. Now back in those days when this was electrified, we were still in the days of steam. It was the later days of steam. Now the electric trains fetched the coal over the Pennines, they kind of deposited the trucks here, and it went onwards over to the west via steam train. That's where the Godley turntable comes into play, because that's what they used to turn the steam engines around. Now when steam kind of phased out and it was diesels that took over, there wasn't really any need for the turntable anymore, so that was taken out of use. But we'll get into that when we get further down to the turntable. So just to come back to the Woodhead line, this was Godley Junction. It's not as clear today as when we was here in February, but can you see the overhead masts through the trees there? See, it's quite a junction, and we also had an old railway station here. Now 4 platforms. There's 2 platforms just on the main line there, so that's still in use. That's kind of the Glossop, Hadfield to Manchester line, still in use. And the 2 platforms here on this line towards Godley Junction, the Chesher Lines Committe. And if we look just down here, look, we can still see remnants of the station platforms. So let's get up here, let's get on top of the station platform. Just have a look over here. So this would have been the little section between the 2 platforms. Now if you did watch my video earlier this year, I did cover this in that as well. Look at the cobbles there in the middle. Don't know if it's too far away to see on camera, but the platforms on the other side are still there. And if you get the train through on your way up to Glossop and Hadfield, you'll go through those stations, you'll go through those platforms just the other side of that wall there. And this was one of the other platforms, the direction on towards Woodley Junction. I mean, these seem to have deteriorated quite rapidly, these platforms. There's quite a lot of these left in photos within the last 10-20 years. There was quite a little bit more greenery, but we were here in February last time, so that's to be expected. Now, I'm quite happy that I've managed to get up here, because this is something I saw last time. Fantastic. Look at that. I think it's an old signal. Now I could be wrong, nobody corrected me on this last time, but look at the inscription on the top there. I can't tell what I thought. I saw it from the bottom last time. I thought it said CLC, but it's not, is it? That's a CL. Is it an R or is it a P? That bolts in the way. But I reckon that is an old station, an old signal post. And there's the platform edge just there. That we just stood right near the platform edge. And there's a train on it's going through the other platforms on its way over to Hadfield. So this line that we're going to be walking on today was only closed in 1981, and I say only because 1981 in terms of railway history, I don't think it's that long ago. Now there was another platform on the left hand side here, but I don't think there is as much to see on in fact, I'm not seeing any evidence of any platforms on this side. But yeah, this side, completely different story. Let's have a closer look. The platform edge just down here, look. This bit's in a little bit better condition, isn't it? There's our post that we've just been looking at there, look. Now this station, Godley Junction, the one at the far side over there, only closed in 1995. It was known as Godley East from 1986. Now that's not the station that we got off of. There's another Godley station, only not even half a mile up the line that way, and that opened in the 1980s. So we had 2 stations relatively close together. Now this station survived on a parliamentary service. Now if you don't know what parliamentary service means, it means they're basically running the minimum amount of trains to refer to it as an open station. This bit obviously that we're stood on at the moment has been closed a hell of a lot longer. Now on the left hand side here, it's looking a whole lot more overgrown than February, but we've had another summer's worth of growth, haven't we? That's the Brookfold sidings. No, it's not. I've completely got the name wrong there. Brookfold sidings, sorry. When I was here in February, if you've not watched that video, go and watch it. I'll try not to duplicate too much today. We had a good poke around in there. We found all sorts of interesting things. Bits of old loco, bits of light bulbs. In fact, fully intact light bulbs, filaments. And just all your usual railway leftovers that you find in sidings. That was brilliant. You got your overhead posts as well, because this was still electrified for a short distance just past the turntable, and we'll see more evidence of those as we just get closer to the turntable. And these lines of posts, look, still got the brackets on. We're seeing them quite a bit. And here's that bridge, the bridge that was extended. Now, I did comment about this before, WJP. Now, Woodley Junction, Pennines, I think somebody suggested that might be what that is. And there's a stone side of that same bridge coat. So, can you remember on that last video, we stood underneath and we looked at the two different eras of bridge, the newer one and then the original bridge for when the line opened. But right next door to Godley Junction is the Godley Turntable. I think it's such an action-packed place to come and look around this if you like your disused railways. So easy to get to as well. 5-minute walk from the station. And here's the turntable, and there's that fantastic old yard lamp. Can you hear the planes? They're really loud. Must be on the flight path today. It's taking off overhead. But yeah, turntable straight in front. You can see it, and the line just on the approach to the turntable. Look, there's still the sleepers in the ground. Can't remember which way round this was. Was this the trains accessed it from that way, didn't they? I think, if I remember correctly. Because at the other side of the turntable, ooh, this is really slippy, we've got the two inspection pits. Do you remember a couple of videos back in Pennines, a section between Deepcar and Pennines, they've got the equivalent turntable on the east side, just the other side of Pennines. It's not as well cared for as this one, dare I say, without being too disrespectful to anyone who might be looking after the Pennines one, but this is a lot clearer, this one. I mean, it's got the steps on, so you can actually get in and experience being inside the turntable for yourself there. And there's a sign that's probably just explained really concisely what I've been waffling on about for the last 20 minutes, hasn't it? And then the old photographs, look. So you can still see the overhead lines, look, just in the background. I presume that's just behind us here, because this is quite a wide area here with multiple tracks on the side of the turntable. Look, well, you can see it better on that photograph. Look, quite a few tracks wide, isn't it, the track bed here. And here's a plan. Let's have a walk round, have a look at the pits down here. There they are. This is a longer one, and then we've got a slightly shorter one. Down here, quite a lot of running water down the bottom here. Just trying to be careful, ever so slippy. Leaves and the wet wood. You see the bricks, the brick lining on the bottom, look. Right, that'll do for the turntable. I think As I say, I did cover it when we came last time, so we'll crack on. We'll carry on heading up the line towards Woodley. Say, this is quite a wide area, as we saw in the photographs. Quite a few lines wide, a few sidings as well. It's a bit waterlogged over there at the moment though. This is just literally just straight up and across from the turntable, and I think last time I said, is it a platform of some sort? And looking, you can see this on some old maps, annotated as a cattle dock. Not a tremendous amount to see on top of here, is there? Well, there we go. Yeah, just have a look there. It said that it was still electrified for a short distance, and we can see an overhead post there. Look, still standing, can't we? We'll go down and have a closer look at that. Right, so here's that post. As far as I can get, close as I can get, should I say. It's not very far, this section of line. It must be a mile and a half, if that. I'm only following it today as far as Apperthorne. Is it Apethorne or Apperthorne? I don't know the correct pronunciation for it. Still seeing these posts, look, with the brackets on, and again they're all the way down. This little row of them there. We've been following them all the way. In fact, I've just seen something else. Struggling to get any closer, but there's a couple of posts. That was like, there used to be a sign or something there, didn't it? Possibly. So this is as far as we went last time, isn't it? This bridge, if you remember, we was looking at this new arch when they put in these extra lines. Oh, it's a bit muddy. Yeah, noticeably newer, isn't it? Bridge 129. Not in as good condition as the original bridge though, I have to say. Some brackets on there as well. It's quite well concealed by spiders' webs now. I'm not going to be touching that. You have to keep your eye out for things on the side of the track. Look, 2 old sleepers. But look at that. One of the old concrete sleepers has got a tree growing round it now. And just after that bridge, the bridge with the new arch on, you can visibly see the track bed start to narrow quite considerably. So that must be the end of those extra lines, those extra sidings now. Bridge 126. See all the old coping stones, look. Just drapes down the side there. And another one. I think they're just like copy and paste bridges, aren't they, these ones? Identical. Got a little cut in here now. Retaining walls both sides. Must be an old pipe, the old stone support actually built into the bridge holding that pipe up. Sewerage pipe, I assume. So got these holes. Looks like some brackets or something went in those. Be forgiven for missing that because of the trees, but is that a telegraph post? Bit of a way up the banking. I'm not dressed for scrambling today. EasyJet. There's another one of those telegraph posts here. A little bit. Oh wow, that's got some insulators on. Can you see? Different type of bridge this one, isn't it? Red brick. It's a bit mucky. So it's the original brick at the bottom, isn't it? And then a red arch. Wonder why. Looks like different shades, look, you can see visibly. Wonder if this has been extended at some stage. Yeah, definitely, as you can definitely see, a line probably extended the road at some stage in the past. It says 2 miles to Godley. I don't think it's 2 miles. We've not been walking that long. I wonder if this was originally a foot crossing on the line. Got these old boards here. Got an old post. Maybe had a warning sign on. I think this fence signifies the end of our journey today. Well, in terms of this video, following that old disused railway line. Yeah, it's padlocked up down there because it is a live railway line just out of sight round there. Apperthorne Junction or Apethorne Junction. I still don't know the correct way to say it. I did ask a gentleman further up near the Godley Turntable, he'd never heard of it. Yeah, different bridge design again, that, isn't it? So that was an interesting walk. That was a nice way to kill a Friday morning. Wasn't really that much to see on the final part, but I mean, I suppose today I've seen an old railway station remains, an old turntable, plenty of old infrastructure, lots of old bridges, so not too bad, not too shabby. It's just occurred to me I've not been on top of any bridges. Let's have a look at the views down today. Just looking back to where we've just come from. Just across the road. So that's where we can't get, isn't it? You can see the track curving round to join up with the existing railway line. And there is that existing line just disappearing off into the sun. Just down from the end of our railway walk today, Peak Forest Canal. It's funny how a lot of the videos I do, a lot of the subjects I cover, all seem to merge, all seem to link and be related. So obviously the Peak Forest Canal is relevant to the series I'm doing on the Cromford and High Peak Railway at the moment. So I will sign off there. I'm still walking back down the Peak Forest Canal, just outside Bredbury at the moment, so I've got another railway viaduct up there. It's kind of semi-disused. I think it's just a dead-end branch, that one. But that was another Chesher Lines Committe line that went through into Stockport. Cheers for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.